Wilkerson will continue pitching in his second inning. Wilkerson facing Jared Hoying, who made that great catch, robbing Santana of a home run. And you get to take something home with you. A little souvenir. Game used Rob Manfred baseball.
Yeah. They're not cheap, you know.
There's been a little talk about the baseball and the potential changing of the baseball to a more tacky leather baseball that you would not have to rub up. Right now, the baseballs come bright white, and then you put the mud on them to kind of get them a little grit and a little grip. There's a new baseball that they use in Japan, and Major League Baseball is considering that change. There's a bouncer over to Orff, and a low throw dug out by Aguilar.
Yeah, the baseball, you know, the inner core of the baseball doesn't change, just the cover. Outside of the cover, a little bit of a, not real stick-em, I would say, but just not as slick as your baseball is these days.
You know, part of the discussion is, I'd love your opinion on it. You change the baseball, and now it's this bright white baseball that you would see right out of the package, which most guys instinctually would not use in a game. They see a bright white ball that, in their mind, says this ball is slick.
I'm not going to get a good grip on it.
And has not been properly prepared for play. So there's a couple of things to consider when you're talking about that. The feel of the ball. I remember when the NBA changed the basketball. It's been a number of years now, maybe a decade or so, and they went to the leather ball, which was really slick, and you had to actually get some moisture in your hands to be able to handle the ball. And then they went to the synthetic feel, which was a little stickier. And there was a lot of shooters who were so used to that slick ball that they had a hard time with the basketball.
I would imagine. That's a big change, changing the way the ball feels and how it comes out of the hand. And I would imagine pitchers are going to be dealing with that as well if they do elect to go with that new baseball.
The inconsistency, the reason they would change is the inconsistency of how the baseball is rubbed up on a given day, depending on the pitcher, the weather. So they want a more uniform baseball is the idea. And the other visual for the fan, for the audience, is that a bright white baseball would be much more easily seen.
Home teams are very particular as to who they have, as far as who the players, you know, the kind of the look that the baseball these players want to have when the pitcher is throwing it. They're very particular about who rubs those baseballs up, because everybody does it a little bit differently.
Well, and even though it's supposed to fall under the umpiring category, there's a called strike three. Rua is retired.
Used to be the umpires would rub them up. At least the first maybe, 3 dozen maybe before the game. But they go through a lot more baseballs than 3 dozen in the course of a 9-inning major league game.
And umpires have people for that now. So that's why the discussion about a uniform baseball that has a little more tackiness to it.
And every umpire rubs it up a little bit differently. They all use the same stuff, but it's applied differently. I mean, by nature. I mean, not everybody's going to be able to do it the same way.
Travis Snyder's first at-bat. 0 for 2, or check that, with 2 outs. Hitting for Mazzara. Yeah, it's an interesting concept. I mean, I'm all for uniformity throughout. I remember a ton of arguments back and forth with pitchers about, especially it seemed like when Bronson Arroyo was the starting pitcher in Cincinnati, because he liked the slick baseball. And there was always complaints by the other side that the baseball is not tacky enough. I remember having a conversation with John Smoltz about that. You go into a scenario and the ball's never really the same. So I think a uniform baseball in theory is a good idea. But there would be some adjustment.
It's always an issue for pitchers, particularly in cold weather, to be able to get a good grip on that baseball. So they sometimes, every now and again, they'll take matters into their own hands, figure out ways to get a little bit more tact to the baseball, and basically that's illegal. So maybe baseball's trying to eliminate that as well.
Yeah, that's the primary reason. There'd be no reason for a little pine tar or digging into the laces and all the little things that pitchers do, but not just. It's not just that pitchers do it. I think most hitters want pitchers to be able to have a grip on the baseball, especially when it's cold out.
That's yeah, that's always good.
2 outs, 1 and 2 the count on Snyder.
Which is why baseball is never played in the rain. Other sports are. It's just because you got a wet baseball. Pitcher's trying to throw it, 95 miles an hour at a guy, and that's just not safe.
Wilkerson with 2 away, and Snyder pulls one foul.
I'm all for anything that they can do to have him just play through the rain. Make a baseball that will stay safe enough that they can slosh through puddles.
Sure, put some ponchos on,
Catch fly balls through the rain, and I'm all for it now that I'm not playing anymore.
or just require that every team puts a roof on their stadium. Take care of that. 2-2 pitch. Good curve and a big bouncer shift on. Sogard, the shortstop, way over there to make the play.